So like as you mentioned, like there are a lot of stuff, like at least things like this, the pre-processing or working with the data before generating the models for that. What are the key differences of what did you find to be a hurdle when you jumped into the professional domain, and things that were not taught into the academia or universities? Is there a major difference to be learned over there? Is the academia much more accepting of the what industry demands, or what are the things that you find as a key distinguishing features?
So the way I kind of see it is there are two, like I said, if you're trying to push things into production, you have to be sure it scales. One, and whatever things you're using, it has to scale, and you also have to ensure that it works across, a lot of different modalities of data or a lot of different variations of data. While in academia, you usually have I would not say a fixed data set, but you usually have a data set that is good enough, that is clean enough, or for which there are certain limitations, but those limitations are sort of usually listed out by the people who put that data set in place at the first hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's much cleaner. And apart from that, I would say in industry, you don't iterate that much on stuff like hyperparameters. Like if you're let's say a pretty simple like random forest model. I hope you
Yes.
so it's a pretty simple model. If you're building it, you won't iterate that much on the hyperparameters of the random forest model. What
Right.
you would rather iterate on is ensuring that whatever features you have, they have the right distribution. While in academia, I guess it's the more of the opposite way, that you try to get that 1 or 2% higher input out above the benchmark. You would like to beat the benchmark on the data set. And the same happens with any sort of competition that you do online. You want to beat the benchmark rather than making things more scalable. So that's the major challenge. The only difference that I feel is data. That's the only thing. Like when I first started my job at Encrypt, the challenge was not to build the first model. Like we had the first model. The challenge was about to improve it, and what I saw is not that improvement did not come from me fixing some hyperparameters. It came from me understanding the data that they had and trying to ask more questions on how to better clarify so that the training set that we are creating is much more better representative of their actual data. So I guess that's where, and that's not something you could actually even teach people, like how do you clean data up.
Yeah.